not much of a plot, but man, what a cast. Oh,
Hello, everyone.
hi there. Welcome to the Utopian Wasteland, episode number 1, numero uno, the first, the beginning. And I'm going on because I'm not sure what I'm going to say next, but here we are.
This is our very first podcast.
Very first.
This is not going to be a podcast about our opinions on things or, well, our opinions
Well,
on things.
Well, it might be a little bit.
Well, maybe a little bit, but there's two
kind of a-
rules
kind of a-
of the Wasteland we have to let you know. No politics and no religion. We don't talk about either.
And that's the end of the show. So that's all I was going to talk about. So we're done. No, anyway. All right.
And we ended here. We have
And we ended here. And I'm thirsty. And this show, this first episode, is sponsored by me.
and me. And
no one else. But
him.
if you'd want to sponsor us, should we get more than no viewers, that'd be great. I do want to do a big shout out to all of our fans out there. Hi, Mom. So there we go.
oh yeah, I'd like to do a big shout out too. Hi, Mom.
Oh, I just thought you'd go grandma, Oh.
We're off to a great start.
Oh.
Off to a great start.
Wow.
Apologies if I look over here a lot, because I want to make sure we look fine.
Don't look at the monitor.
I want to make sure we look good. I want to
look
make sure
great.
everything is working fine.
I look
okay.
great. I look fantastic.
I should put a little makeup on you. Or
I
something.
probably should have. I'm probably a little shiny. Yeah,
A little bit.
So maybe we'll get more professional over time. If
Doubt it.
Yeah, probably not. Okay, so why are we really here? We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Too much stuff to talk about.
We're going to talk about tech. We're going to talk about societal norms from time to time. Maybe movies and some video game stuff here and there too.
Oh God.
Yeah. Okay, I can't say that we're going to talk about video games. He's going to rant about video games, and that's probably how
Screw
it's
you.
going to go.
Wow, it's really hard not to swear.
It really
It's
is.
just so natural for me to say but
We're going to have like a swear jar here. We'll be able to fund this
Oh.
whole thing on our own, and I'm going to have a little
no.
beep on you all the time.
Everything that comes out of my mouth is
Right,
just a
just
bleep.
beep, 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 beep.
Hey.
Yeah. So where should we start? Should we start with Boston Dynamics that we were talking about
Oh
earlier?
God. We're gonna jump right in with a haymaker. All right, go right ahead, feller.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
That's totally staying in, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
AI,
We shouldn't cut any
robotics. Okay, so I first want to start by saying I am not a Luddite. Do you know what a Luddite is?
Please explain.
A
This
Luddite,
is new to me.
a new word to you. Today's vocabulary word is Luddite. So originally, the term Luddite were people who were against some new advances in technology that were going to replace jobs from a long time ago.
Okay.
Today, it has come to mean anybody who is nervous of or just genuinely hates technology.
Fair enough.
That's definitely not us.
Right.
As I'm sitting here with my smartphone next to me, and we're in a room full of tech and gear. You've got your VR stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's not us. But we're realists at the same time. And so one of the things we're going to talk about here in the Wasteland is the pros and cons. There's some really cool things. So let me put this succinctly. Future tech coming out, I am really excited about and really terrified of at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so I'm a little
Where's the
older.
script? Say
Yeah.
that came out really scripty, feller.
Yeah, but yeah.
But no, I didn't get what you're
But,
talking about. Technology
know?
is an absolutely awesome thing in many aspects, but there's also a lot of dangers to them and a lot of concerns.
Right, absolutely. It's kind of like that line from Jurassic Park where Jeff Goldblum is saying, "Okay, you figured out you can do this, but you never thought should you?" And I see a lot of that going
I
on
think we
today.
should. I
Well-
think we should with dinosaurs. Let's bring them back. Hell yeah.
Bring back the dinosaurs.
Let's bring back.
Well, there are some people
age
trying to
of
bring back woolly
dinosaurs.
mammoths at least. And
Nah, screw that. Let's full send it. I want
full
T-Rexes.
send
I
for
want
dinosaurs.
Triceratops. I want Bronchiosauruses. I want the whole 9 yards.
With the Brachiosaurus, but Bronchiosaurus, that's that one with the bad breathing problem.
Is it Brachiosauruses?
Brachiosaurus.
Is it Brachio? I thought it was Brachiosaurus.
Well, maybe it's brachio, but you kind of said Bronchiosaurus,
Oh,
which is like bronchial in your lungs. And
No, it's a Brachiosaurus.
What's the problem with his breathing? He's coughing a lot. I've got the Bronchiosaurus. It really hurts.
No. It's a Brachiosaurus from the Bronx.
Yeah.
It's a Bronchiosaurus.
Yeah, it's a Bronchiosaurus. Hey, I'm walking here. I'm bigger than you.
Before the Bronx got destroyed.
Right.
Wasteland.
Okay. Well, let's hope we don't get there. But maybe we will. Maybe we should start with, why is this called a Utopian Wasteland? Do you have any idea?
This was
you know
your
why?
name.
I know. So first off,
I don't know why you're pointing at me.
Well,
for
I
this.
was
This is all
wondering.
your
I was
idea.
wondering if it really meant anything to you, because you're like, yeah, that sounds good, man. But I think it just sounded cool.
Oh yeah, no, it mostly just sounded cool to me, and also just because if you look outside anymore, I think enough said.
Well, that's true. If you watch the news anyway. I mean, where we
News?
live,
What news?
where we live, it's kind of beautiful. It's kind of fine. But going over into cities and stuff, it can be. Yeah, you don't really watch the news at all, do you?
No, I do.
Do you even know what's going on in the world?
I do.
Okay.
So no, I watch a lot of news. I make sure to pay attention to everything.
Oh, that's good. So a utopia is a perfect society, a perfect place.
Mhm.
However, there's a caveat on that. It's perfect from a certain perspective. So the Soviet Union was, to the creators of it, a utopia. They were trying to make a perfect society, which did not work so well.
Really?
Yeah. Incidentally, if you don't know, if you haven't heard of it, it fell apart.
I thought the Soviet Union did
Spoiler-
great. I thought they were
Spoiler alert.
fantastic. Great ideals.
It's still going strong in China, and that's going well too. Or something.
No politics.
No politics. Well, I'm not talking politics necessarily.
No.
Just, political systems that work and they don't. So a utopia can be a great society depending on your point of view. And very often when somebody creates something that's a utopia, it's sheer hell to someone else who doesn't agree with that point of view.
Right.
The world of Wall-E was a capitalist utopia until it all fell apart and they all had to leave the planet. Great movie, Wall-E. Watch it. Maybe we're headed there. We'll see.
Some people actually hate the movie.
People hate Wall-E?
Yeah, you want to know why?
I do want to know why.
Okay,
let's talk about it.
This is gonna probably be like the biggest.
Not where we were going with this first episode, but here we are, and this is what all our shows are going to be like.
Follow the rabbit hole.
Follow the rabbit hole. Okay, so tell me, why do?
So
it's a great movie. How can people hate Wall-E?
There are a group of individuals. I will not name names.
Okay.
Just being nice.
Okay.
But they specifically hate the character Eva. They hate how she is portrayed as this weak individual that has to be saved by this wretch of a robot. That's the exact words I have seen.
No kidding. Okay. I gotta say, Eva's badass. I mean, she's the one with the laser.
So she has the gun.
She saves Wall-E a few times.
Yep.
Honestly, she saves humanity.
Yep.
I mean, does Wall-E save her at any point other than protecting her when she shuts down and goes into sleep mode?
About it.
He's good and watches over her.
That's about it.
As a companion should, but
that is about it. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. But there's some people who are like, oh, why blah 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 this, blah blah that. When it comes to all that, and I'm just like, really?
Well, whoever these unnamed people are,
are,
watch it again and realize that Eva's the badass in that movie. Eva saves the day totally. I mean, Wally's just kind of there and lost. I mean, he's a trash compactor, for crying out loud.
Well, I mean, Wall-E saves it at the end.
Well, I mean, he's part of it, but it's him and Eva together.
And the
right.
plant. And
sure. But still.
Spoilers. But it's been out for years now, so go watch it.
You should have seen it by now. Anyway.
Robots.
Robots.
Boston Dynamics.
Boston Dynamics.
Segues.
Maybe the world of Wall-E
exist
is
them.
where we're
We
headed
exist them.
in some ways. So Boston Dynamics has a few interesting robots out that you've maybe seen. If not, look it up on YouTube or, well, I don't know. Just Google it. I think the video was out on YouTube
Yeah.
of the newest ones for a
I
long
know
time.
it was on TikTok.
Right.
That's where I saw it.
Yeah, and I saw it, I think, on Instagram. For a long time, they've been experimenting with Atlas, their bipedal
Right.
robot, which
The
is
backflipping robot.
it
Yes.
does backflips, flips. It can do
Flits?
flits.
No.
It flits and it flots and it does parkour. I mean, it's kind of spooky. Everything
Oh.
thing was capable of.
And I want it so bad.
Right. The downside of it, I mean, it's an experimental platform anyway,
Right.
and Boston Dynamics has stated that Atlas was largely there to be a test bed for the AI and software that runs the robot, but
Right.
also, getting the movement down. But it ran on hydraulics.
Right.
All of the arms, the legs, everything's moved with hydraulic systems, and that's why it had to have that big pack. So when you've got hydraulics, you have to have pumps, and so
Right.
it takes more electricity to generate all of that, and
Right.
it's difficult. So recently, they put out a very short video of that robot saying au revoir, and within days they showed the new one, which is all electric, and started out this short video of it laying on the ground, and all of a sudden it, in something out of like The Omen or The Conjuring or something.
Say, I was straight thinking The Conjuring.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the bones
straight out of
to
The
crack,
Grudge, or yeah. I mean, the legs flip over, and this thing lifts itself up off the ground, and it turns around, and it's got this little round face with basically the light that a lot of selfie people use for, put behind their camera. Hey, we should get one of those little ring lights. Should we get a little ring light?
Because then we'd have to be right here. Anywho.
And it looks at the camera, and then it just walks away.
Well, no, it looks at the dog.
No, the dog wasn't in the video.
Dog was in the video I watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, the dog was.
I just saw kind of a close up as it stood up and looks into the camera and walks away. And so, yeah, the next phase of that, and they have implied, though they've given very little information about this one, they have implied that this is maybe the beginning of a new production model.
Oh.
Yeah.
For what?
Well, I don't know. One can assume factory work, store work, replacing people's jobs. But Boston Dynamics, which is now owned by Hyundai Motor Company. Yeah, I don't know if Hyundai bought it. I don't know if they're a 100% owner. I'm going to have to dig into this. I saw one article that said Hyundai is the owner. I saw another one that said Hyundai has significant shares in Boston Dynamics. But yeah, they used to be owned by Alphabet, which was formerly called Google, which sold it off. But what I'm getting at in all of this is Boston Dynamics has a DARPA contract, the Defense Department.
Right. Okay.
So DARPA is part of taxpayer-funded defense for private industry,
right,
to come up with better weapons. And
that's the
yeah.
Wasteland.
And here comes the Wasteland. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I don't want to get negative. I'm not one of those people to go, oh my God, Terminator's coming. I'm just.
Oh, I wasn't thinking that. I was just begging for Fallout.
Or Fallout. Yeah.
No. I do want to set the world on fire.
I can't sing on this, can I?
No, you can't.
Can I even sing bad without getting...
If you sing like really, really bad and you're not even close to how it sounds, but I prefer you didn't.
Oh, man.
I'd like to keep people around.
Well, that's a good point. It's a good point.
Also, you haven't had your warm-ups. So.
Well, I did a little bit earlier today, actually. I tried singing today.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing.
Nice. Yeah. Good. Anywho.
Terminator.
I don't know. So when I saw that, can I give my hot take on this?
Yeah.
When I saw that, put your phone away.
Okay. Making sure it wasn't something I had to pause for.
Fair enough. When I saw that, I straight thought some of the creatures from like Resident Evil,
Oh,
the ones that like cling onto the walls and can just
right.
like conjoin their body, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
imagine an army of those
Yeah.
crawling towards you or
Right.
walking towards you.
Well,
It's like
of any size. I mean, Boston Dynamics has their dog too. I can't remember what they call it.
Spot, I think.
Spot or something. Something cute. And it's really nice. Boston Dynamics made a rule that you cannot put any sort of weaponry on it.
It detects it. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's an
it's got a
AI
detection.
program in it that as
Right.
soon as it notices you are using it to cause harm upon another person,
Right.
it shuts down completely and you cannot turn it back on.
Yeah, exactly. And I think somebody tried putting like a paintball gun on it, and they were able to get that to work, but I'm not sure for how long. And so, hey, nice, noble. That's great. Other countries are copying that exact robot and making their own, and they're putting sniper rifles and machine guns on them anyway. Um, I think the sad reality is we have a new arms race going on.
Ooh.
It's just starting. I mean, an example of how this is going, not just robots, but also drones and just in general, automation that does not require a soldier standing there. Iran, just in the last recent days, launched a pretty major attack on Israel using nothing but guided missiles and thousands of drones, or at least hundreds of drones. And now Israel, along with France, the United States, Great Britain, and interestingly enough, also the country, I think, of Jordan and Saudi Arabia helped Israel.
Oh,
Shot down like 99% of them.
where's the 1%?
Luckily, no one got killed or hurt badly. They kind of landed in desert areas
Well, at least there's
and
that.
mostly shot down. And Iran announced they were launching them.
Yeah.
This was saber rattling. It wasn't meant to be a, hey, we're going to go and kill a bunch of people in Israel. It was, here's what we can do.
Isn't that normal in history, though?
Yeah, it happens a lot. And the entire Cold War was that. Hey, look at how many nuclear missiles we've built. Oh, well, hey, look at how many we built. Oh, great. Now we both know we can blow each other up, so nobody's going to launch them.
Right.
That was the point,
Right.
As long as we've got mutually assured destruction, no one wants to die, so let's nobody launch them. But drones and robots are going to be a different matter. People are obviously going to be less hesitant to use them. I mean, imagine, we were talking one day about what an F-22 cost. I mean, what did we figure out? It was millions, millions and millions
like
of dollars.
10 million or something like
I
that.
don't know.
Maybe
I'd have to
higher.
look it up again, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
But if you figure even a decent drone is a $2,000 drone,
Right.
this is hundreds of thousands of drones for like actually, we figured it out. The cost of one Sidewinder missile was,
Yeah.
was so expensive to just launch one missile that you could have hundreds, maybe thousands of drones for the cost of that one.
Right.
And suddenly it's cheap warfare. And you don't have to send soldiers in at all.
Yeah, I will say this this is a little bit frightening. I have seen some videos of people trying to strap um weaponry onto some of those robot dogs.
Right.
Not Boston Dynamics.
Right. But some other ones.
But some other
Yeah.
off-branded ones.
Sure.
And I think most of them I saw, it really didn't do too much. In fact, some of them just fell over. But I wouldn't be surprised if the ones that are currently being built for that are actually going to be built around it.
Right.
So
well, and some of what's already being deployed, even by the U.S. military, they're not necessarily walking ones, but they're like a tiny tank. They've got treads, and then very major machine gun,
right,
and small artillery mounted onto these things that they're using.
I mean,
They're
we no longer
deployed.
control a lot of our seeking drones anymore. It's all AI
Well,
based.
not completely. It can be,
The
but
handheld ones are.
so far they are still making sure that there is a pilot somewhere on the ground deciding to pull the trigger or not in blowing something up.
I mean, the throwing ones. Have you not seen those?
No. No,
Okay,
we
so
don't.
what I've witnessed
All
the
right.
U.S. military develop.
Uh-huh.
Imagine, you know how big our UAV drones are? Okay, imagine a 10 times smaller one. And it
Okay.
fits, its wings are folded and it fits inside a little tube.
Uh-huh.
And then while people are out on the field, they can pop it and it will fly straight up in the air. And as soon as it sees someone on that side, it goes down and hits them.
Hmm. I have not seen that yet.
I have, and it's pretty frightening.
It is frightening. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to look that one up. I gotta watch that. But
Oh, yeah. Now, I also could have missed the part where maybe one of them had like a controller or something
Right.
to also man it. I don't know.
yeah.
But I'm just
Typically, all of
thinking,
them I've seen so far are kind of like a consumer drone to a degree, in that somebody's watching with a camera and actually using it as a remote control.
right. This one, I don't know if it fully was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a while since I watched the video, so if you find it, please look it up yourself and do your own
Tell us
research.
about it too.
Yeah, I
Maybe?
guess.
I don't know.
But they were in the talks of being like, these could be now strapped with explosives, and we could do a bunch of these. And I'm thinking, oh, imagine a swarm of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Gotta be a lot harder to hit those things.
Well, it is, and knocking down drones is not an exact science by any means. I saw just a quick headline, I think this morning even, about the difficulties that militaries are having creating anti-drone technology.
Right,
And I mean, they're working on it. I mean, they had to start working on it to be around airports
right.
because idiots were flying their drones into
Yeah, of
airspace
course they were.
and getting sucked into jets. I mean, they weren't trying to. They were just being, "Ooh, look, I can fly over an airport with my drone. Look at the great video I got. Oh, where'd my drone go?" And that
Oh,
goes
man.
poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they've already been working on that sort of thing, but now they're having to expand on that. So how are they going to do that though with robots? When they're on the ground and they're bigger and the electronics are more shielded than they are in a drone.
I can tell you, and it's the easiest answer.
More robots?
No. Call the howitzer. Point blank howitzer.
Yeah.
Or, my personal favorite, we bring this weapon out of retirement, the trench gun from World War I and World War II.
Well, and that's probably,
The
something
slam
like
fire
that will be
trench gun.
used. Yeah.
The gun that Germany tried to outlaw in World War II.
Yeah.
Because they said it was a war crime.
Okay. So beyond that, beyond military,
Yeah. You can
more
censor some of that if you want. I don't
yeah,
care.
no, whatever. More pressing is these are going to be going into production in factories.
Yeah.
Tesla has already been cutting down the number of their employees by a very large number, and is already employing a very large number of robots on their factory floors. There is a company in Oregon, I think they're located near Portland, that has gone into full production of making commercial robots. So it's happening. It's this is coming. There is a company up in, I believe, Vancouver that is creating a robot that is strictly for retail work, and I don't know that it's bipedal. It maybe moves around on wheels, but its upper body has regular humanistic arms, and it can fold clothes. It can put stuff on a shelf.
But that's not the only thing it can fold.
Yeah, well, it can fold a lot of things. Lots of folding. But the point is, there's a lot of jobs that these are going to quickly replace.
Yeah.
And everybody's going, wow, but this is like $100,000 machine. What company is going to be able to afford that?
Well,
Well, if you're paying an employee a good wage, that robot will pay for that in 2 years easily.
We're also asking companies to pay people actually.
Well, okay, if they're paying minimum wage,
Okay, there you are.
even if they're paying minimum wage, like around our area, you're talking 16 something per hour. If you're in the city of Seattle, it's $20 an hour, I think, minimum wage in Seattle. Other municipalities around the United States have their own minimum wage.
Right.
And then a company, when you're paying somebody that $20 an hour, you're also putting out nearly another $20 an hour on insurance and workers' comp insurance,
Right.
and the paying them for vacation time. There's a lot of things that go into having an employee. It's expensive. So you figure if you're paying them 20, you're actually putting out about 40 per hour for an employee, approximately.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rule of thumb. So at the end of the year, that's a lot of money. I mean, even for a
Sure.
minimum wage employee, within 2 years, you could pay for that new robot. And the flip side is that robot can work a 24-hour shift rather than only an 8-hour shift. So really,
True.
that robot's now replaced 3 employees.
True.
So in a year, you've paid for it. Even if it's expensive, it's economical to replace people.
Well, yeah, but
Or it will be. Now the downside is these robots are slow.
Yeah.
As
of right now.
As of right now. But they're improving. And I've been watching different videos from consumer electronics shows and different places around the world, and some of the just consumer grade robotics that are coming out. I mean, they're not even, these people aren't even talking about military aspects, though obviously that's going to be a next step. But the number of things that they can do in a commercial setting or a retail setting is getting rather spooky, really. Well, for fast food, we've watched the videos of that robotic arm that's mounted on a rail
Right.
that can flip burgers now.
Yeah.
They've upgraded what it can do.
Oh
It
no.
was just running the fryers.
Oh no.
It could do like the French fries and anything that went into a fryer pit. But now they've got it modified so it has a spatula and it can flip burgers on a griddle.
Oh, we're
So
so dead.
So yeah, I mean, you go into a McDonald's now, and it used to be that you'd walk in and there was 3 or 4 checkers across the front, and then you've got somebody
Right.
at the window, and then there's 5 or 6 employees in the back all getting the food ready. Now you walk in and there's these kiosks where you do a touch screen, order your food. They've got one cashier person
Right.
instead of 4 or 5. They've got one person at the window, and then now if they start replacing the people in the back too with these arms, I think what was it, Taco Bell, I think, was already experimenting with replacing and using these arms in certain places. So they're already in operating restaurants. It's here. I should have eaten more. My stomach's grumbling. Can you hear that in the mic?
I don't think.
Oh, that would be
that
would be great. Let me get close.
No.
No.
Stop. But I will say it is stupid. I will say it is a interesting flip when it comes to societal norm.
Okay.
Because originally, and just societal perception.
Okay.
So,
How so?
we could go to McDonald's and obviously go up to a kiosk, type in our order, and then wait, grab our food.
Right.
Zero interaction whatsoever.
Right.
Other than maybe a thank you, and then we leave.
Well, and now you can pick up this.
That too.
And you can order with an app before you even get there, and then you tell them your order number when you pull up to the drive-thru.
Right. But then it's even more trippy when you don't go to those types of places. When you go to, like, say, like a little diner. Because diner restaurants still exist.
Sure. Yeah.
And now you're interacting with someone and you have a actual holdable thing. And to constantly go back and forth between, at least from my perception, mild isolation compared to mild interaction.
So, do you feel like kind of an anxiety sort of a switch, or how does it
I'm
make you feel
worried.
going from one to the other?
It's more a worry than anything else, at least from my perspective,
Uh huh.
that we are going to get too used to the touchscreens and the zero
Right. Right.
interactions. I'm worried of the consequences of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious on how that's going to go. I think it's going to take a while before anybody wants to do that completely. As an example, self-checkouts in grocery stores and
Right.
in big box stores. So many of them, particularly some of the really big chains started going to a lot of those, and now they're having to pull back because people don't like them. For one, it's too easy for people to steal stuff,
Right.
and so then you got to go and catch them and prove it later that they actually stole it and didn't pay for it, and they can be like, well, I tried to scan it, but I'm not a trained employee, how would I know? And but also a lot
Did
of
Walmart
people,
lose a lot of money because of that?
they
Because
did.
billions of things got
Walmart
stolen.
lost a lot of money, and that's one of the biggest companies I've been hearing recently is starting to go back the other direction, bringing in cashiers instead of quite so many self checkouts because people don't like them. I don't like them. I mean, if I've got, 10 items, small cart full, great. I'm probably going to go to a self checkout because it's faster.
I mean,
But
that's
if
different.
I've done like, 2 weeks worth of shopping and doing all of my groceries in one place
Oh,
and I've got $400 of product in my cart, I'm not going to want to go through a self checkout. I
yeah, I
want
wouldn't either.
somebody to take care of it and somebody to bag it for me.
Right.
And I've actually noticed one of the Walmarts that I go to, I started noticing people, it used to be that I would see a lot of people with a full size shopping cart piled up,
Right.
and they'd be in all the lanes. And over the past couple of years, as they've gone to almost only self checkout at this, in fact, especially this one that I go to, they'd have like one or two checkers, and then the rest was only self checkout. I would only see people with small carts and a few items. It's actually, seems to me, holding people back from buying as much.
That doesn't surprise me.
I know it does me when I go in. If it's one, yeah, I walk in and I see how many checkers there are. And if there aren't many, I'm not going to buy as much that day.
Oh yeah.
I'll maybe come back another time, but I may just go
If and at
somewhere
all.
else too.
Right. If and at all.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I find myself shopping at my local grocery store much more where they have checkers than I do going to those big box, even though that's going to maybe even save me, $50 to $100
Right.
in a big purchase. It's just makes it difficult. Of course, we've got a little bit of a drive getting, we're not real close
Well,
to a
also,
big box, but still.
I mean, also just the fact too that prices of things go up.
The prices of everything has gone up. Yeah.
Price of things have gone up, and our pay has still not
Not
really.
not not
Not enough.
exponentially. No. No, it really hasn't. Not
So that's
not
another factor
proportionally.
in
Absolutely.
things.
Oh, sure it is. But, I still see people with big shopping carts at like Costco, and places where
Yeah,
they've got checkers. You
that's
know,
also
I
Costco,
I see at
where
our
you buy in
local
bulk.
grocery store, people are going through grocery store. I sound like I've been drinking or something, and I haven't been. Well, pop, but that doesn't count. I still see people with pretty big carts there
Right.
when there's a checker. But I think people just don't want to do that with a self checkout.
Personally, not. I know from my perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
right.
I would be like, I have a lot of items. I
Yeah,
don't want to use the self checkout.
exactly.
And then I'd probably go back and put things away.
Yeah,
Or if I'm a jerk, like some people have done, they've just left their cart.
right, right. Now the flip side of that, when I was a
Put away
kid,
your stuff in the
put your
correct
stuff away.
area. I'm tired of seeing people put underpants in the cereal section.
Oh, I've seen worse than that.
I'm
Yes.
trying to be PG here.
Oh no, I've seen ice cream
Oh,
hiding behind boxes of cereal because they
that
were
too.
too lazy to bring it back, and so by the time the crew got to it at night, it was spoiled and melted all over the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Although there was the used
vodka
diaper and things.
doesn't belong in any kids section. Put your stuff away, people. Please.
Vodka in the
I'm
kids section.
I'm
Huh?
getting too heated about this. I am sorry.
Yeah, that's all
When
right.
I have other more important things to get heated about,
Uh-huh.
and at some point get some food in your stomach.
Boy, my
Mr.
my stomach is just like totally growling here. I guess I should have eaten more.
But
But the flip side of all that though, when I was a kid, gosh, I should have had supper or lunch or breakfast. I should eat sometimes.
yeah,
When I was a
maybe.
kid, anytime you went to get gasoline, petrol for you in other countries, uh, into your automobile, you never pumped it yourself. There was
Right.
always a station attendant who would put it in for you. In the
Right.
state of Oregon, it's still a requirement. You
Right.
you cannot legally pump your own gas in Oregon, I guess. The rest of the United States, you pump your own gas, but it used to be that you never did. And then they started doing the self checkout pumps and the self pump, and everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." And then everybody got used to it. But they still had to go inside to pay. And then they started having to pay at the pump with the cash with the
Mm-hmm.
credit cards and debit cards, and everybody got used to that. So restaurants and things like that with the order in advance, I think I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm not sure. I mean, I like going into a restaurant and having somebody actually bring me the food.
Personally, for
I,
me,
I
yeah.
like to talk to the person that I'm ordering from. I don't want to, I've noticed that I'll use McDonald's as the example again, going in and using their kiosk. I've done this at Taco Bell as well. Learning their menu system for their menu. It's like, okay, I know what I want, but I can't find it on here. Well, maybe it's hiding under this category. No, it's not in that category. Well, let's go to this category.
Right.
It's this weird learning curve of how to use these massive these kiosks that are big screen televisions sitting on their side
Right.
to find it all, and it's a little frustrating. I'd rather, if I go in, I know what I want.
Right.
I just want to tell somebody, and I want them to ring it up.
I just want a beef burrito.
Just want a beef burrito.
I want 2 beef burritos.
Yes, and I want the original beef burrito. Bring the dang
Original,
thing back, would you? I mean, the
original
ricey one
beef
is
bur-
okay, but
Well, I mean, yeah, the rice one's
it's
fine. Just the original beef burrito, please.
dang. Now we're talking about food. You're gonna make me even more hungry. I guess I shouldn't. I
Cinnabons,
shouldn't have gone down
not
that.
spawn.
Should have gone down. Huh?
Not sponsored. Not spawn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, nobody's sponsoring us yet. Not even this pop that we're drinking.
Right. Non-branded pop.
Well, no, this is.
No, I'm saying we're drinking non-branded pop.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But it is a brand. It's just not a brand a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people have heard of. This is a brand out of Oregon as well.
Okay, so it's not gonna even be on like the east side or anything.
No,
So
it's a West Coast sort of thing.
suck it, East Coast.
You, you don't get my Huckleberry Pop.
Anywho, it'll be interesting to see what
Yeah.
the times will be and how they will show up. But I will say too that even with people, they still messed up orders.
Well,
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like
Well, and
kiosks helps much, anyways.
no. Well, I don't know. Maybe the kiosk is a little more exact, but there's
Well, no,
but
that's
there's
not the
still
point.
people back there
Let's say,
making it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
true.
not the point I'm getting at. The
Okay.
point I'm getting at is I don't think it matters if there's a kiosk or a person up front. As long as the people in the back can actually get my order right,
Yeah,
that's all I care about.
right.
It's like
Well,
again,
pretty soon it's going to be an arm on a rail making your burrito
Exactly.
for you, and
I'm okay with that
yeah,
as long as it's right.
yeah.
I want my burrito. I want it now.
Give me my burrito.
I want my chorizo burrito.
Chorizo burrito. Chorizo burrito.
Oh, it's delicious.
I've never had one.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. Basically, chorizo is just like assorted. It's mixed all together.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay.
With a little bit
Sounds
with
yummy.
With some spices on
Okay,
it.
thank
Not
you.
spice.
Now that I'm even hungrier,
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm glad to assist.
Okay. So anyway, there's a little sample of the kinds of things that we're going to be talking about tech-wise, and as we get into other episodes, I'll bring up facts and figures, and I want to give you guys factual information rather than just us going, I heard,
Right.
because there's a lot of that. That seems like that's all there is out there. I start feeling that way. It's everywhere.
It's like the I heard
the
mentality.
Interweb. Yeah, and they said that I see what you did. The herd mentality. Oh, it's funny because it's like herd mentality. I get it. Oh yes. Okay.
Anywho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like a stupid joke I'd make. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you. I'm so proud.
You're rubbing off on me.
Yeah.
Wait.
Phrasing.
Your personality is getting attached to me.
It's just that really wasn't much better, right? Nice try, but that wasn't.
It is really proving that I am your son.
That is true. Yeah. If you guys hadn't figured that out yet.
Wait, you think I'm just randomly hanging out with an old man?
Yeah, I was trying to say that I'm the younger brother, but I don't think anybody's gonna believe us.
No, not even close.
Hey, some of the guys I work with thought I was 35, so I'm like,
you wish.
Hey, that's honestly what he said. He's like, well, you're between like 35 and 40.
So
you're about the same age as me, right?
So how much drugs did that person do?
So many.
Okay, fair enough.
So many.
Well, there's a topic I want to talk about.
Getting old?
Transitioning. No.
Oh.
But transitioning into things.
Yeah.
Going back to a previous topic.
Okay.
Talking about layoffs.
Layoffs.
Did you hear recently about the semi-huge, but still, 600-person layoff at Take-Two?
At Take-Two. Yeah, I did.
And the fact that they CEOs got a pay raise as well as soon as they laid off those people?
Well, yeah, so I did read about it, and the pay raise actually came before the layoffs, but it was like doubling their pay, and and it's not just direct pay, it's a combination of pay and stock options and things like that. So some of the millions of dollars that they are getting, it was somewhere around 30 some million each.
Yep.
A total of 70 some million total between just the two top people in that company. And then followed by 600
we
layoffs.
Can't afford to have all these people. Oops.
Right.
I have such a gripe with that with so many AAA companies anymore.
Right.
It's just lay off this, lay off that, lay off this, lay off that.
Yeah.
If it was such a problem, why'd you do it in the first place?
Right.
Like, I get it. Pandemic happened. You wanted to try and wrangle up as many people as possible so you can have plenty of workers to, beat the competition. Have you thought about not doing that, though? Have you thought maybe competition isn't that important? At the end of the day, as long as it ends to the consumer's hands, I think that's the only important aspect here.
Well, yeah. I mean...
Oh, and also making a good game. And I'm going to get to that in a moment, too.
So every business is in the business of making money, not employing people.
Obviously.
And so, when you're running a bit, I still can't condone the stupidity of giving your top guys
more money,
multi-million-dollar bonuses when the company is not performing. And I will say, I read that those bonuses are tied to future performance, and if the company does not perform, they won't get that amount of money. But still, that money I think would have been better spent on more creatives and more coders.
Oh yeah,
and artists too. I mean,
right.
You've got to have this foundation of skilled people, trying to get the very best people that you can to make any money. And if they would do that first, then those CEOs will eventually make money too.
Right.
But you got to have great products first. And one of the not only did they lay off some 600 people, but they cut back some of the titles that they are working on.
Did they ever reveal any of the
I haven't
titles?
read yet which ones they've cut. So that'll be interesting to see
Oh,
what
I
they're
know
not going to
GTA is
do.
not going to get cut.
No, it's too big of a seller, I would imagine.
I hope, personally, from this, and if people are familiar with Take Two, they are notorious for adding microtransactions into things
Yeah.
to the point of absurdity.
Right. And actually that's a big part they were talking about in the article I read. Their entire business structure is foundational on those transactions.
Of course they are.
Everything that they're doing right now, they admit that.
Right.
That's the future of the company. And I understand it. I mean, you create a game, you sell it for $70, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and previously the number of people who are going to buy it are going to buy it, and then the millions that you've spent developing it, you're done.
Yeah.
It's not going to sell much more after a certain point.
All right.
So these companies are looking at what do we do to make profits for the company continue and to allow us to continue to employ people and continue as a business and then have capital to be able to invest in making new games. So they're like, hey, people are willing to spend money in game on things like skins and ooh, look, a
Well,
new gun and
okay.
things like that.
Which is so stupid from so many perspectives,
Right.
because
I mean, I get it, but I see them abusing it a lot.
so much of the time they're abusing it. Let's talk about Call of Duty, for instance.
Okay.
There are still things in Call of Duty that you can buy that are basically pay to win. There are still
Yeah.
weapons that you can get that
Yeah.
give you that pay to win advantage.
And that's such a
Not
terrible idea.
all the time anymore, because,
Right.
gaming community, love you all, have actively tried to push against this,
Right.
but not enough.
Right.
Not enough.
And honestly, that's what it's going to take for companies to stop pulling this crap on consumers
Yeah.
and on gamers is for all the gamers to start going, no, we refuse to buy this junk. We're just not gonna do it anymore. I mean, a $5 skin maybe, or I don't
okay,
buy stuff in game. What does it
so
cost to buy?
so for skins, if we're talking about like skins, I like to go to the game Overwatch for a moment.
Okay.
Like original Overwatch, not Overwatch 2. You suck. But anywho, you're trash. Stay in the trash.
Lots of love for you though. Bless your heart.
The original Overwatch had a loot box system, which at the
Okay.
time, loot box system was not a good thing.
Right.
It was being indoctrinated and people were not liking it. But out of every loot box system that existed, it was by far the most harmless one.
Okay.
Because all it was cosmetics.
Okay.
Everything was cosmetics. Nothing
There was
gave
no pay
you.
to play.
There was no pay to play whatsoever.
All right.
And the downside of it was you couldn't buy skins.
Okay.
But what it did was if you ever got a duplicate of something, you gained bonus currency from that duplicate because, you can't have two of the same thing. So it just gives you currency of what it would cost.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So say like, oh, you got a little icon. Well, now you got 25 points from that icon because you already had that.
Okay, so it wouldn't give you like two of the same thing over and
No.
over again. So you weren't totally screwed.
Correct.
You'd get something.
And so you could still build up currency over time and still get skins. And it wasn't a hassle. You didn't have to buy anything.
Right.
All you had to do was just level up and play. That's all you had to do.
Okay.
But nowadays, it's gone to the 10 times more extreme. Going to now Overwatch 2 again. You suck. So, okay.
I think he doesn't care for Overwatch.
So imagine, say,
just guessing,
a ninja character. Let's just be very vague here. A
Okay.
ninja character, and you give him, I don't know, a cyberpunk-looking skin.
Okay.
How much do you think you personally would pay for that?
Well, I'm a cheap one, so
Fair enough. That is fair.
I guess if I was so into a game that
Mm.
I felt the need to, maybe $2 or $3, maybe. But
Okay.
I'm cheap
So
when it comes
most
to
minimums,
things like that.
right? Most minimums I've seen are like 5 or 10.
All right.
But it also depends on how
So,
much effort was put into the skin.
so
But for
maybe.
Overwatch 2,
Uh-huh.
for one skin,
Yeah.
for which also could be a reskin of something else too, $25
Holy cheeseheads! You've got to be kidding me.
for one
For a
skin.
skin.
For one skin.
Okay, if I loved it enough, maybe I'd go $5.
Yeah.
But you're talking to a guy who's like once in his life spent $5 for an app on my phone because I
Right.
really wanted this particular
Right.
music player that was on there, and it looks so cool. So I think that's the only thing I've ever bought for my phone.
Right. So you're telling me you're not going to pay $25 for a skin or a reskin of a skin?
I'm probably not, though I am probably not a good example of the average gamer in any way.
I can tell you personally, no. A lot of people have been going at this as well, like honest gamers and not ones that are, anywho,
Okay.
deep throating the lords of
Right.
whatever company they're sucking off.
Right.
Apologies. But
popsicles. He's talking about popsicles.
yeah, they're big, massive popsicles that
wet,
they're shoving
drippy popsicles
up places.
Right.
Like the fudge
in their mouth.
factory.
Right. Yes.
And
Anyway,
there are some skins out there that exist that are absolutely ridiculous, though.
Okay.
So, what would you say is your favorite color? Let's throw this out there.
Like forest green.
Okay.
So a darker green.
Say you and I are playing Halo.
Yeah.
Say we're playing Halo, we're having fun, and you see this skin, and you're like, oh man, that's a nice forest green color. I want that. That's a nice, cool skin. I mean, it doesn't look like it's too much different from any of the other armors, other than it's forest green.
Right.
Give me $30.
Yeah.
For green.
Yeah. No.
That's what a lot of companies have been diving into a lot.
Right.
When it comes to them trying to do purely cosmetic. And they're like,
Right.
oh, you want this skin? You have to buy it. You have no way of earning it.
The problem, though, then is, obviously, people are paying it.
Yes. There are some people that are paying it, and it is ridiculous.
Quit that.
Stop.
Stop.
Please.
You're encouraging bad behavior.
Get some help. But then you're having all these other companies that are now also trying to put microtransactions into games to make the game, what's the word, faster or easier for you.
Sure.
Called time savers.
Time savers.
And I'm going to look at Ubisoft for a sec, because I also want to jump into my other topic of Ubisoft. Ubisoft, ever since Assassin's Creed Syndicate, started adding time savers to the game. Actually, no, even Black Flag, I'm pretty sure, also had some time savers, but they weren't as huge or as prominent.
Okay.
And basically, the time savers were like, oh, permanent double money, or unlock all locations, or here's where all these special resources are.
Okay.
It just reveals them to you so you don't have to go looking for them.
All right.
Then it got worse. Then they started adding materials to later Assassin's Creeds, talking like Origins and then Ascension, I think, and then Valhalla. They added more time savers. So now it's like, oh, you can spend $5 for 15 minutes of double money. You can spend $30 for, say, 30 minutes of double money. Or you can spend $40 for permanent money. For permanent double money. Now give us $25 for us to reveal every single icon on the location for you to find all the secrets. Now pay us another $25 so you can get a starting of resources.
Wow.
And I'll pay us another $25 because screw you.
And another 25, and another 25, and yeah.
And Ubisoft has become too infamous for that, and there's been some companies that do it as well. Now, here is a scenario where I'm going to say microtransactions is valid.
Okay.
And my only reasoning.
All right.
Warframe.
Okay.
Warframe is a beautiful free-to-play game.
Okay.
Completely free to play.
All right.
How they make their money is platinum. Their exclusive currency that you can buy.
Okay.
You don't need it at all throughout the entire game.
Okay.
You all you gotta do is just grind for it. That's it. And it's not like it's a bad grind. I've grinded on Warframe plenty of times to get resources and stuff like that.
So if you're not lazy and you're willing to take the time,
exactly,
you can.
But even
you
then,
can do well.
Even then, Warframe actively has things in place to prevent you from burning yourself. So there are special open world maps that you can go to, and they have like factions on there with different standing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're allowed a certain amount of standing to get per day. So you maybe are only allowed 22,000 standing per day. So once that standing's gone, you can't get more. And that's Warframe's way of telling you, like, hey, we know you want to grind this out. We don't want you to burn yourself. You're only getting this much. Take a break from the game. Step back, go do something else.
Yeah.
And that's even with the crafting, too. Like, if you want to get a new Warframe yourself or a new weapon, anything, they're timed in the machine. So it's like, you gathered all these resources. All right, for this new Warframe, you're going to have to wait 2 days. Which sounds ridiculous. But at the same time, it's genius.
Okay, why?
It gives you that break. It gives you that opportunity.
It's sure the most humanitarian thing I've ever heard from a game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, you can, if you want, spend platinum to speed things up if you do want to have a speedier process, at least with crafting.
Okay.
But everything else has a time. You can't rush factions to level them up right away.
Okay.
You have to take time with them. And there's still other things to do. There's still plenty of things you can go around and do. You can do extra hunts. You can hunt for special bosses. So there are.
So it's not like forcing you to go offline.
No. But it is telling you, hey, we know you want to do these big stuff. We want you to not burn yourself on this because we know how fast you could do it. But we're trying to tell you shouldn't.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And for like main story stuff, they're actively not making people pay for it. Like every single story thing that's ever come out of Warframe is completely free.
Oh.
Everything is free. Every update they come out with is free. Every new Warframe, every new story mode, every new game mode they add, completely free.
And I would imagine that by keeping it free, they're getting a higher volume of players.
Right.
Which then increases their likelihood of people buying in-game currency.
Exactly.
And things like that. So
and
they're probably still making plenty.
Discounts too. They offer coupons from 20% to 50%, stuff like that, for if you want to buy platinum.
Oh, wow.
So they offer these to you.
So there's sales.
Yeah, there are sales. So they do entice. So they do entice people to buy platinum, but they're also like, you don't need to. It's just nice if you want to get this.
Right. Well, okay, yeah, so I agree with you. And I think I like systems where
a lot of the platinum, I want to make this clear too, is mostly used for cosmetics or rushing production of something. That's mostly what it's used for.
Right.
Now, you could buy weapons, but it doesn't really do much. And also, a lot of them are locked behind levels. So even if you're level 1, you can't buy an overpowered weapon right away. Again, incentivizing you to be like, hey, play the game. This is not a pay-to-play game.
Right. Yeah, so you don't end up, I've noticed that with these ones where it is more pay-to-play, it kind of sets up a class system.
Yep.
An income class system within the game. And where rich people win and poor people lose. Because the rich people can afford, however many hundreds to buy this super fancy gun. Which I've heard of is, and it's ridiculous. I'm all for having, like I've heard of some where you buy golden armor and it's super expensive, but it doesn't do anything.
It's just golden.
But it looks fancy.
Yeah.
You know what? Charge a ton of money for that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, if it's just cosmetic,
Yeah.
I can totally get them charging a lot, but also have good cosmetics,
That
you
you
know,
can
whether
earn.
it's skins or stuff
Yeah.
that you can either earn or you can buy for $5. I mean, most of
Mhm.
us, if there's that one skin we really want, if
Like
it's
if
in
it
the
looks
if it's in the five,
that good.
right, if it's in the $5 to $10 range, most people will go, well, okay,
Right.
that's a cup of coffee or two.
Right.
That's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But 30 and then
Or 100.
or 100.
Which there's one skin I saw. It was a gun skin on a game called Valorant that
Uh-huh.
was like 150, and it showed like this cool stuff on it. It's so cool, and
Uh-huh.
then you find out it's a level-based gun where you have to use it and level it up to get it to that point. Anyways,
Oh,
yeah, but
so you
this
spend a bunch of money and it's no better.
it's no better. You still have to use that gun a lot to even get it to
Right.
the skin that you want
But
it
it
to be.
looks cool.
But it looks cool.
Okay. Wow.
Yep. Premium art,
Premium art.
which was
And
that's what they were called.
okay.
Premium
But
art.
you know what? I'm all right with that. Because that to a degree I'm all right with that. Okay. It wasn't really a game. There was a thing called Second Life.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while when that came
Debatable
out, I
nowadays,
was yeah, I mean there's games within it,
yeah. Right.
but it's, you know, it's more I'd compare it more to Minecraft in a way, in that you've got these worlds that you can build things and you can explore, and there isn't necessarily a point.
There is a point to Minecraft, but okay, bud.
Well, okay, so imagine Minecraft only in creative mode, and there's a lot of people there.
Okay.
Second Life was simply an open world,
Yes.
and you could build houses and, you know,
Right.
digital assets and things. Anyway, I remember my experiences being on there, and I was using just the free stuff,
Yeah.
and but it stood out. I'd have people come and talk to me. Oh, a noob, I can tell by your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I was too cheap to spend, you know, any money on buying
Right.
hair skins and different things. I mean, you could buy every little element to design your
Mm-hmm.
character in there.
I have a slight conspiracy theory I want to talk about too, but continue. Continue.
About Second Life?
No, but something else is a whole, but continue.
Okay. So I got to see that class division sort of a system in that.
Yeah.
But and so I can see that being a thing in modern gaming with, you know, people who have just the, oh well, you're a cheap skin person.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Look at me, I've got the $100 skin. I'm
Right.
covered in gold.
Right.
So there's still that aspect. But on the other side of that, I think that to a degree, those people just end up looking kind of stupid, don't they? The
A
really
bit.
rich ones.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, at least I know from my perspective, they do. Just like, wow, you spent $80
Uh huh.
on a skin.
Exactly. Okay, so now I'm curious though. What's your conspiracy theory?
So,
So-
deep
so
diving
here-
into the conspiracy.
So here we go. There is a conspiracy. Go ahead.
There are government plants. No, no. I have this theory that companies actively plant their employees with these cool looking skins and make sure
Oh.
they know that they're not employees. That other
Uh-huh.
players know that they're not employees,
Uh-huh.
and they purposely taunt them to entice them into buying it. Or running around with it to be like, oh yeah, look at my skin. You don't have this skin. Look at my skin. You should buy this skin.
Oh, come on. A company trying to make tons of profits would never do something. Wait.
EA.
Hmm. I think you're onto something.
Joking aside, though, it is
Yeah.
absolutely stupid, the whole last thing.
Honestly, nothing would surprise me.
I mean, maybe it was just a random thing I was pulling out, but hey.
At the very least, I would assume that if you're an employee of the company, they want you to be playing the game anyway, and you probably have full access to everything.
Hopefully.
So there's probably a degree of that. But I would hope that they don't go around taunting people into, man, why is your skin so cheap?
You
Oh,
never know, man.
eh,
People are jerks.
people are jerks. Huh.
Now,
Okay. Yeah, what?
one last topic
One
before
last
we
topic.
call it a day.
Okay. Okay.
Talking about Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. One of your
Oh,
favorite topics. Yeah.
ugh. Favorite
You,
topic
you
as
should be with us both at about 3 a.m. every day when he's tired and starts going on a conversation spree. I'll call it that instead of a rant. Go for it. Actually, I think that's what you're about to hear anyway. Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. Such a beautiful, beautiful company. You know, I mean, with great titles like Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six Siege, you know, totally non-toxic, totally non give us your money games.
Okay.
They are making the new Star Wars game that's coming out. Star Wars Outlaws.
Star Wars Outlaws, where you can play Sabak.
Sabak, whoever the hell that is.
It's the card game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's never been done in a game before.
Mm.
It's something totally new. You can buy your own set of Sabak cards, but it's never been featured in a video game before. It was never really featured in anything until the Han Solo movie, where they showed that's how Han Solo won the Falcon from Lando Calrissian.
Oh.
Sorry,
that's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
So
you'll learn this soon enough. Star Wars geek. So
for the base game,
the
base game of Star Wars Outlaws. How much do you think it would cost for modern day AAA games?
I don't know. They're usually in the $60 to $80 range these days.
Typically 60 to 70. If we're talking, you know, a good company from a bad company.
Right.
As soon as you see 70, you know it's a bad company.
Really?
Yep.
That's a thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Totally not a biased opinion at all.
Not at all.
Straight fact.
Straight fact. Just that's all you're gonna get here is facts, not opinion.
The game isn't fully out yet, and it's now it's up for pre-order. Well, they announced that for people that pre-order the game, they are going to give you number one 3 days of early access. Okay. So you get to play it early, 3 days earlier than everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah, whoop-de-doo. But then they are also giving you an exclusive mission, or maybe missions, depending, with Jabba the Hutt.
Okay.
Can you guess how much you now have to spend to even get that?
On top of the 70?
On top of the 70.
Well, yeah, a DLC is normally going to be in the $30 range, something like that.
Yeah. I hope you like spending $110 or $130. Because you don't...
For a DLC?
Not for that. For the whole thing. And I'm pretty sure you're not even going to get the DLC. From what Ubisoft said, that mission in particular is going to be locked behind the Deluxe Edition and the Ultimate Edition. So not even base game players can even play it. So they can see the mission and they could go to it. They just can't do anything.
So you have to buy the game for the $70, or I suppose the Deluxe is even more.
Yeah, the Deluxe is $130. The Deluxe is $110, while the Ultimate is $130.
Okay, and so you spend that $130, and then you got to spend another $130. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay,
No, you're just spending $130.
Oh,
apologies.
Okay, so I thought you meant, you buy that $70 game and then you got to spend another $130. Well, okay.
But think about it for a moment, though.
Well,
think about it for a moment.
I know, but there's a lot of games that come out that the Super Deluxe Edition is $100, $120, $130.
Right.
I mean, usually you get some sort of a cool prop with it. But...
Yeah, they get a cool prop, or there's actual like worthwhile in-game stuff that you could potentially get.
Claptrap,
Yeah. But
we've got some of that stuff here.
For these lovely bundles, for these lovely deluxe editions, you get some skins that are okay.
All right.
Basically, you like your speeder bike? All right, cool. You can get it in green or something like that.
Okay, I want a green speeder bike.
That's it, but you have to get it in the Ultimate Edition, I think, so you have to spend $130 for that. But let's factor into how much those are, and then how much content you get with that.
Right.
So when you're saying a mission with Jabba the Hutt, are you talking about a mission?
Yeah.
Are you talking one mission, 2 missions,
Right.
3 missions?
Yeah,
It better be fucking 20 missions. Apologies. I'm getting heated, so the swearing's starting to happen.
Here we go.
Yeah, you can censor it. It better be 20 or 30 missions for me to truly and honestly say that is worth it. If you're telling me I'm going to maybe do 1 to 4 missions with Jabba, it is not worth spending $130 or $110.
Well, I mean, when the base game's already $70,
Exactly.
you're talking about an extra $40.
Yes.
And that's
But for 2 missions?
I mean,
For
if
a
that's
few
all there
missions?
is. I mean, usually, a season pass that gets you a bunch of things is going to be about $30-$40, and it's a lot more than just 2
Who even knows
missions.
if that's going to happen?
Yeah.
There's been some games in the past where you bought the full game, you bought a deluxe edition or ultimate edition with a season pass, and then they never came out with anything.
Right.
So it was just a waste.
Right.
And I feel like that's what's going to happen with this too, because everyone's going to see that, everyone's going to not play it.
Yeah, they're gonna
and hate it.
They're
and
really
the people
going
that
to
do spend it are going to get screwed.
Yeah, they're really going to have to be transparent about what are you going to get for that amount of money.
Right. But anymore, no one does.
Really?
Most AAA companies don't. They don't want to be transparent, so you are enticed to buy it.
Sure. And they're afraid of promising too much and then having egg on their face when they can't do it.
Right. Now let's talk about another company that is also coming out with a DLC as well.
Okay.
Or that's going to have a DLC that's going to be $40. Let's talk about FromSoft, the greatest people that created Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring.
Okay.
They're coming out with they're coming out with a DLC for Elden Ring.
Okay.
Whole new area, whole bunch of bosses, whole bunch of content for 40 fucking bucks.
Yeah. Basically a whole new game.
Whole new game
for $40.
For $40.
Yeah.
And there are people spending $250 because they have a collector's edition for this DLC. Which comes with a really cool statue, high quality statue, and a full-blown art book.
Yeah.
Plus the DLC.
And one of those statues, if you were to go to a store, you'd drop $100 on one of those
basically
easily.
Yeah, you'd be spending that much anyways. Some people are even getting a crown. There's some packs you can buy that has a crown in it instead for one of the bosses.
Oh, I want one of those. You should see me in a crown.
No, shut up. Shush. What? Again, let's full-blown compare the two.
Yeah.
Ubisoft coming out with potentially, maybe, a 3 or 4 mission with Jabba the Hutt. Right. And that's it. Because looking at Ubisoft's track record, whenever they did crossovers or they added special stuff like that, it was maybe 2 or 3 missions, if that.
But at this point, we're just kind of speculating. We don't really know yet.
No, because they haven't revealed anything.
When's it coming out? I've been reading and I've been seeing little bits about the game coming out.
I can say soon. That's as best as I can give.
Yeah.
You can always look it up yourself now. But the point is still,
I could.
Why have all this useless content anymore?
Because they can charge extra.
I know, and it's stupid. And haven't they finally learned that it's not going to get them anywhere?
But it does. See, that's still the thing. People are still spending money on it. They will buy it. That's the problem. August 30th.
August 30th. August 30th, I will be sleeping, and I will be...
Early access starts on the 27th for those who purchase special edition.
It's absolutely stupid, though. I don't see how a few mission thing is even worth $40.
So the
So
price
let's
of the
factor
game,
that in.
price of the game is currently set at $70. This is according to IGN.
I can always somewhat trust it.
Yeah. And you can officially pre-order Star Wars Outlaws for any of the available platforms. There's also a gold and ultimate edition of the game that cost over $100 and come with early access and additional features.
Skins and Jabba's mission. That's it. But looking at all of that, so let's scrape away. Okay, say you just buy the base game and you're gonna wait for this Jabba thing to come out.
Uh-huh.
Are you still gonna put it at $40? Because knowing Ubisoft, they are.
Uh-huh.
Because they're gonna think their product is so amazing, no matter how bad it is, that they're gonna force feed it to you and be like, "Look, it's great," when it's not.
Uh-huh.
And then comparing to a company that actually cares about their consumers.
Oh, well, there's the thing.
And gives right. Elden Ring's coming out with basically a $40 DLC with a whole bunch more content.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Borderlands, some of its content were like maybe $10, maybe $15. And yet there was more to do in those than there probably will be with this maybe singular mission with Jabba.
So, according to Ubisoft,
Oh no.
So the standard edition at $69.99. So it's under $70. It's $69.99.
Continue.
You get the base game and the pre-order bonus.
Uh-huh.
Pre-order bonus, you get the Kessel Runner bonus pack, which includes a cosmetic pack for your speeder and a cosmetic for the Trailblazer spaceship.
Your ship, yeah.
Yeah. So the gold edition, you also get 3 days early access for the low price of $109.99 and a season pass. The season pass includes 2 DLCs that will release after launch. Keep exploring the world of Star Wars Outlaws with all new stories, quests, and areas to discover. The Jabba's Gambit exclusive mission available at launch. Sounds like mission. And the Kessel Runner character pack featuring additional cosmetics for Kay and Nix, 2 of the characters in there, I assume. And then the Ultimate Edition. You get the base game, the pre-order bonus, 3 days early access.
For how much?
Oh, low price of $129.99.
Right.
But it's under $130.
Of course.
Same season pass.
Of course.
You then get the Rogue Infiltrator bundle, including cosmetics for Kay, Nix, the Speeder, and the Trailblazer spaceship. So you get more cosmetics. And the Sabak Shark bundle, including cosmetics for Kay and her blaster, Nix, the Speeder, and the Trailblazer spaceship. So more cosmetics. And you get a digital art book. A selection of the game's concept art and visuals, a unique cinematic storyboards. Digital art book, basically they're sending you JPEGs.
Yep.
Not a printed book.
Nope.
Not a collectible. A digital, non-transferable art book. So, I mean, so for base, you 70, and then you go up to for another $30, you get that season pass. Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, is it worth it?
Depends on how good it is.
Let's be honest. Star Wars hasn't had a really good track record.
For video games, no.
Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
The Jedi Survivor games were good. And so at least there was that. Not everyone liked them, though. Shocker.
Right.
But it still was decent-ish.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, no.
But again.
As a major Star Wars geek, I have often been disappointed by Star Wars video games.
Right.
I mean, there's been some that are kind of fun. You know, there's the one that strategy game that I like to play. That
Galactic Conquest.
Thank you, Galactic Conquest. I always want to call it Battlefields, but it's not. That's a different one.
And that's Battlefronts.
Battlefronts. There was that one that you liked with the Special Forces clones.
Republic Commandos.
Republic Commandos. You liked that one. I never played that one, but you liked that.
It was very good.
But you know, some of the early ones that I had for the early PC games, they didn't even play well. They would crash a lot, and you know, they just weren't that great.
Well, you're telling me you didn't want to play Star Wars chess, where you could either be the dark side or the light side, and Darth Vader is the queen?
I'm talking X-Wing Squadron,
and
things like that. But yeah,
or
no, because I suck at
Ewok
chess.
Adventures.
Well, that was
for
a cartoon.
The Commodore.
Was that actually a game?
Yes.
What?
Yes,
okay.
it was.
It was a cartoon.
It was
well.
it was Ewok Adventures and then Luke Adventures, which was based off of a terrible Indiana Jones Adventures, which was supposed to be like a point and click game.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was not good.
All right. Well. Okay. So there it was, episode 1.
Episode 1.
You sat with us this long?
Sorry. I am so sorry.
Yeah. So now you see what this is going to be like, and in future episodes we'll have more fact-based things that I don't necessarily have to look up on my phone while I'm sitting here. Though some of it we probably will on the fly.
We'll hopefully have actual stuff maybe written out.
Yeah. I'm thinking paper that I can crinkle by the microphone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then
well,
do that with
right.
It's like, so according to the facts right here.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Well, you know how you hold a sheet of paper and then you smack it sometimes.
Oh, I thought you just meant making bad noises in the microphone.
No, I'm talking about when you're holding your sheet of paper and you're like, so according to this.
Okay.
These facts.
So you're not going bad monkey on me.
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, I didn't think you were.
This has been episode 1.
Episode 1, the Utopian Wasteland.
we flipped again.
So this is what it's gonna be like. Yeah.
We're starting to get a little hungry and loopy. Lovely.
So, subscribe, like us,
follow us,
keep following us, whatever it is.
Follow us on any podcast platform that you listen to.
On. Yeah, we're gonna try and be everywhere. I mean, everywhere.
All right, I'll let you talk because I'm just talking over you. Continue.
Oh well, I guess that's it. So, I'm Sean.
I am Cody,
and you've been listening to the Utopian Wasteland podcast and watching the Vodcast if you watched us on video on YouTube. And there we are. You know, if we can actually pull our act together, we'll be back for an episode 2. I hope to see you there. Thanks for hanging out with us. Bye.